Take no thought for your life, saith the Master. Hear it in the old tongue, so it rings with the weight of heaven. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? He is not teasing us with poetry. He is handing us the key that turns the lock. Be still, and let these words fall upon your heart as dew upon Hermon. Take no thought, not less thought, not better thought. Take no thought. We have called the ache in the chest anxiety, and we have bowed down to it as if it were a monarch. But anxiety is only thought pretending to be power. It is a parade of what-ifs, wearing a paper crown, rattling a tin sword. In the light of the Holy One, it has seeming not being. It speaks loud and says nothing. And here, now, I promise you a prayer without words and without effort. The one silent prayer that ends the masquerade. Take no thought and rest in the I that is God. Not a method of managing thoughts, not a better cage for the birds. Rather the opening of the window so the birds fly out and the sky is yours. I in the midst of you am mighty. Do you hear? Not afar off, not in temples made with hands, but in the very room of your breathing. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. This is our foundation and our shelter. This is the rock that follows us and the water that flows from it. When the Master bids us take no thought, he is not sending us into vacancy. He is sending us into presence. Be still and know that I am God. Now, could you for a moment join me? Say softly, I, again, but tenderly now, I. Let the word turn you inward, not outward. Do not push. Do not reach. Simply notice that the one who says I is not anxious. The anxious one is a cloak, a character on the stage. But the I who beholds, the I who hears, the I who is calm, is whole, is God being itself. God, God, God. Speak, Lord. Thy servant heareth. Relief begins here, not when we have tamed every stray thought, but when we cease granting thoughts a scepter. We withdraw our faith and reliance from the machinery of thinking its cause and effect grindstone, and we lean back into grace that is already happening, already governing. The I within me goes before me to make the crooked places straight. This is not a promise of tomorrow. This is an isness now. Let the shoulders drop. Let the breath find you. Take no thought and discover that life, the life that feeds the lilies and clothes the meadows, is living you. Fear not, for I am with thee. And in that eye, anxiety's crown falls and the show is over. Let us, very gently now, look straight at the thing that has bullied us by noise and costume, and let us name it rightly. Anxiety is not a creature. It is not a law. It is not a power. It is an appearance, a claim, a suggestion in human thought. It is the whisper of what if presenting itself as oracle. It is a mask without a face behind it. Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, saith the prophet. God is too pure to behold iniquity. If in the one mind there is no recognition of fear, no decree that sustains it, then fear has no charter. Where God is all, what rivals can there be? God, the only power of the universe. Only power. Think of the rope in the dark taken to be a snake. Do you battle the snake? Do you strike, plead, or negotiate? No. You bring a light, and in that light, the snake is not killed. It is discovered to have never been there. That is unmasking. Or If you prefer a lighter picture, pink elephants. Imagine them on the ceiling, marching in a line. Oh, you may shout at them, you may schedule meetings with them, you may vow to improve them, but they are a trick of suggestion, and no pink soap will wash them, because there is nothing there to wash. So it is with the parade of what-ifs. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Note it, beloved. Shadow, not substance, not cause. Shadow. Anxiety thrives on our belief that it is a somebody with a scepter. Withdraw the scepter. Withdraw our faith and reliance on the reports of sense, and stand in the light of the Holy One. Perfect love casteth out fear, not by wrestling it, but by being itself. In him is no darkness at all. Where, then, could the night take its stand? When the I that is God is recognized at the center, the suggestion loses its stage. It was a loudspeaker with no wire to the wall, seeming, not being. Now, when the flutter rises in the chest, do not arm for war. Do not make a project. Become a beholder. Say within yourself, not loudly, not as magic words, but as recognition. This is an appearance, a claim in human thought. It is not reality in God. Then turn, even a hair's breadth, to the I. I in the midst of me am mighty. Be still and know. Let the light be light. The rest is done without your effort. You have not conquered an enemy. You have seen there was none. We are not fighting a power. We are beholding a non-power. Like snakes and pink elephants, anxiety dissolves under spiritual sight, not because we have become strong gladiators, but because grace is light and light is effortless. God, God, God. In that awareness, the masquerade cannot stand, and the heart discovers its native quiet as something already present, already governing, closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. What then did the Master mean, beloved, when he said, "Take no thought for your life"? Was he counseling negligence, idleness, some pious carelessness? No. Hear him in his own cadence. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? He is not abolishing activity. He is relocating trust. He is moving the center of reliance from the mental manager busy with its ledger of what-ifs into the indwelling I that performs. I can of mine own self do nothing, said he. And yet the blind saw, the lame walked, and the multitudes were fed. How? The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Take no thought is not the end of work. It is the end of worry's lordship and the beginning of grace's governance. Behold the fowls of the air, he continues. Behold them, not pass them by. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. See the divine order undergirding the small wings. It is provision by principle, not by panic. The bird does not set an alarm at 3 a.m. to calculate the worm market. It simply is what it is, within the law of its being, and supply is native to that isness. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Here is the Master's vision. Life unfolded by presence, not by fretful mechanics. He is not praising indolence. He is revealing the royal ease of being in God. And then the deeper key. Before Abraham was, I am. Not I was, not I will be. I am. Prayer then, is not the mental manufacture of a better tomorrow. Prayer is resting in the timeless presence that already is the substance of every true tomorrow. When we take no thought, we are not abandoning the future. We are dropping the counterfeit task of making one. We are consenting to I in the midst go before us to make the crooked places straight. In this I, all time is gathered up, and sequence bows to sufficiency. God, the only power, be still and know that I am God. There is your obedience. Not an anxious, many-worded pleading, but a holy stillness that opens the inner door. Now, could you for a moment obey that single command? Be still. Let the shoulders soften. Let the mind lay down its tools as a carpenter at evening. Whisper within, I, in the midst of me, am mighty. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. In that quiet guidance appears as already arranged steps. Supply arrives as already given grace. Protection is discovered as already surrounding. He performeth that which is given me to do. So take no thought meaning. Refuse the reign of what if, and abide in I am. Let activity flow. Yes, make your calls, tend your children, do your craft, but do it as the beholder through whom life lives, not as the warrior who must make life safe. God, 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 closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. There, and only there, thoughts lose their scepter, and the day moves by presence, not by panic. Now, beloved, let us come to the heart of it. Identity, not the name on your letters, not the history your friends could recount, but the I that remains when all stories fall silent. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb. I will help thee. Fear not. Hear it as present speech within you, not as a relic from a dusty scroll. This I that formed you is the I that lives you. It is not outside, not afar. It announces itself as your very self. I am that I am. Before Abraham was, I am. I in the midst of you am mighty. Let us say it softly, together now, not as magic, but as recognition. I in the midst of me is mighty. Once more, but more slowly. I in the midst of me is mighty. Notice what happens as you say it. The center of gravity begins to slip from the forehead's worry wheel down into the secret place, into the quiet chamber nearer than hands and feet. You do not push it. It drops of its own weight, presence becoming felt. God, God, God. Be still and know, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. The promise is not addressed to a stranger. It is the whisper of your own life to itself. In this recognition, a shift takes place. The old role of fixer, ever tightening bolts, polishing plans, bargaining with tomorrows, stands revealed as a costume hung on a peg. That fixer is an appearance, a suggestion in human thought, not the one you are. Your true identity is not the anxious mechanic of life. Your true identity is the beholder through whom life performs its own works. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Do you see? As we withdraw faith from the fixer, we discover the sacred amazement of the witness. Things are done, ways open, guidance appears, and it is not by might nor by power, but by the quiet river of I. So our practice is simple and radical. Become only a beholder. Drop the patient and the condition. When anxiety knocks, do not invite it in for tea. Do not chase it with nets. Drop the patient, this sense of a worried self in need of repair. Drop the condition, the screenshot of tomorrow's disaster that human thought is waving. Then turn inward, even a hair's breadth, and rest. I speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. In that listening, you will feel sometimes like the click of a latch, sometimes like a feather's weight, the inner assurance that does not argue, he performeth that which is given me to do, and let us keep it humble. We are not becoming grand controllers of circumstances. We are yielding to the one that is already governing. You do not have to prop up the sun each morning. You do not have to hold your breath to keep the sea from spilling over. The same presence orders your steps without strain. Tonight and tomorrow and at the turning of each hour, return to this. I say it once, tenderly. I, in the midst of me, is mighty. Then be a beholder. The anxious fixer fades as a shadow fades before day, and the day is lived by the light that never forsakes you. Beloved, now that the fixer's costume has been set upon its peg, let us look at the stage upon which it strutted, the theater of cause and effect, the little abacus of human thought clicking. If I do this, then that. If I don't, then disaster. That is the realm where anxiety claims a charter. But there is a higher government, and it is not a theory. It is a state grace. In a state of grace, the clattering laws that frighten the heart are disarmed. A state of grace banishes, annihilates, wipes out physical law, mental law, the law of cause and effect as determiners of your life. The law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus hath made me free from the law of sin and death. God, the only power of the universe, only power. Consider the master asleep in the boat while wind and wave wrote their arguments upon the sea. The disciples consulted the law of physics, and it said, we perish. Grace spoke, peace, be still. Which government prevailed? Or count loaves and fishes with the accountant's pen, it cannot be done. Yet grace multiplied. He maketh a way in the wilderness, and rivers in the desert. The cruse of oil that failed not, the manna that fell fresh. What is this? But life moved from computation to revelation. Hear the promise that steadies the pulse. He performeth that which is given me to do. Inspiration replaces calculation. In grace, action is not abandoned, it is anointed. A word to speak arrives when it is needed. A door opens you did not know existed. A restraint holds you back from a precipice your maps never showed. The eye in the midst goes before you to make the crooked places straight. And let us smile a little at ourselves. We try to outthink tomorrow. We sharpen 3 pencils and a dozen what-ifs and call it prudence, while grace has already been there and arranged the furniture. Tomorrow to the mind is a riddle, to I am. It is already encompassed. Do you remember the manna? When they tried to hoard it, it wriggled into worms. So with our hoarded fears, the more we store, the more it wriggles. But when we receive the day as given, it is sweet as honey on the tongue. You cannot outthink tomorrow. Grace has already been there. So let grace be law. Let it be the only statute in your kingdom. Your safety is not earned by vigilance. It is bestowed by presence. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned. Your supply is not a wage to anxious thought. It is the natural outflow of isness. He shall give his angels charge over thee. Withdraw your faith and reliance from the ledger, and rest in the eye that is nearer than hands and feet. Say within, softly, I, God, God, God. Be still and know. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. In this way, tomorrow is not managed by thought, it is unfolded by presence. You will find yourself responsive instead of reactive, moved instead of driven, carried instead of strained, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. And as this becomes your law, anxiety's causality fades like a map of yesterday's storm, while the clear air of grace opens out a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape. He performeth that which is given me to do. Prayer, then, is not a report to deity. We do not cross a great distance to inform an absent God of conditions on earth. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. If he knoweth, we need not tell. We need only open. Prayer is the opening out of a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape, the unsealing of the spring already within the hill. God is not persuaded. God is present. God is not convinced. God is. Be still and know that I am God. When thought ceases its pleading about tomorrow, grace begins. It's revealing now. God, the only power of the universe. Only power. So, when you come to pray, leave your problem outside like an umbrella at the door. It will not be needed in this holy weather. Become only a beholder. Drop the patient and the condition, the mental picture, the ache, the ledger, the forecast. Do not carry them into the secret place, for they have no passport there. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Enter as you are in truth. Consciousness empty of petition, ready to behold. Say within, softly, I, in the midst of me, am mighty. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Then rest. The method is simple and sure. First, contemplative remembrance. Let the mind be schooled in what is already true. Whisper or merely know, God, God, God. God the life of me, God the mind of me, God the substance and safety of all being. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Underneath are the everlasting arms. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Not to persuade, but to attune. Not to get, but to give the heart back to its source. Then, second, the listening. Stop speaking. Fold the lips of thought upon themselves and wait. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Let there be a minute, or 3, or 10 of naked attention without goal. No plan, no bargaining, only presence. Be still and know. Now, just for a breath, do it. Lay the bundle down, name it not, come empty. Say once, tenderly, I, again, without effort, God, God, God. Let the shoulders soften. Let the inner ear turn as a flower turns to light. Do you sense it? Not fireworks, not argument only, a quiet that is not of your making, a hush that carries knowing within it. My sheep hear my voice. It may be a phrase. It may be silence that somehow speaks. It may be a settledness like a hand upon the heart. That is enough. Do not seize it. Do not explain it. Consent and rest. I knew a woman who tried this when the calendar shouted lack. She placed the bills outside her little prayer corner, sat, and said nothing after the holy names. Presently one word came, wait. She obeyed the word, not her worry. The next afternoon, an old debt was repaid, unasked. The figures balanced without figuring. Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. This is not magic. It is order. Grace is order discovered when we cease rehearsing tomorrows and return to I. That is, therefore. Let prayer be this: fewer words, more word, less asking, more beholding, not informing but receiving, not tomorrow but now. Keep thy mind stayed on God. Never look for results. Abide, listen, and allow the one who is nearer than hands and feet to perform that which is given you to do. Well, now, let us enter quietly. Let us become still. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet. And when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. The inner room is not ornate. A plain chair will do something firm enough to keep you awake and gentle enough to welcome you. Feet on the floor, hands easy in the lap, spine neither stiff nor slumped, a soft lift as if a cord of light drew you from crown to heaven. 2 or 3 minutes to begin. That is all. The phone, away, another room if you can. The door, if there is one, shut. The house informed, kindly. This is our quiet minute. Set the boundary at the threshold. During prayer, do not bring the condition. Leave the bundle outside. It has no passport here. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Keep thy mind stayed on God. If a thought rattles the latch about the bill, the body, the child, do not argue it. Do not chase it. Let it knock and pass on. This is holy ground. No bargaining, no rehearsing of tomorrows, no private court in which you plead your case. Only presence. Arrange nothing extra. No dependency on candles, music, or props, beautiful as they may be. Withdraw our faith and reliance from externals, people, possessions, even a distant God imagined out beyond the sky. Lo, the kingdom of God is within you. The Father that dwelleth in you, he doeth the works. The I in the midst of you is mighty. It is not the sanctuary that sanctifies you. It is the presence that sanctifies the sanctuary. A kitchen chair can be a holy mountain when you withdraw your gaze from the outer and let the inner speak. Take a few easy breaths. Yes, but we are not worshiping the breath. It is simply a bell that rings you present. Then let even the bell grow quiet. Place the attention not on the problem and not on the body, but on God. God, 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 the life of me. Be still and know. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Let the jaw unclench, the brow smooth, the heart ungrip. If the mind runs to fix, remember your boundary. Become only a beholder. Drop the patient and the condition. Sit within the word I as within a sanctuary, not made with hands. Keep it humble and keep it brief at first. Morning light and evening hush are friendly hours. 2 minutes upon waking, 2 upon retiring. And if grace nudge you at noon, another 2. Do not measure results. Do not make a project. Never look for results. Look to God. In time, the minutes will lengthen as a river widens by its own flow, not by your engineering. The house will learn to honor your silence, and the soul will learn to come swiftly when the door is shut. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This is training not of the will, but of the gaze. The quiet, boundary-held space teaches the heart to behold rather than fix, to yield rather than manage, to rest in grace rather than compute outcomes. And there, quietly, Without trumpet or strain, you discover that the inner eye governs, and the day beyond the door is already cared for. God, the only power, only power. Now, beloved, let us practice. Not many words, now one word. Sit as you are, feet grounded, hands easy, the door within softly shut. Leave the bundle outside. No names, no dates, no ledgers. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Here in the secret place, only presence. Gently, on the next outbreath, whisper within, God, and again, God, and once more, God, not to call him from afar, but to recognize him where he is closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. God, the only power, only power. Let that sentence drop like a stone into the lake of awareness and watch the ripples fade. I in the midst of me am mighty. Say it, barely a breath. I in the midst of me am mighty. Now, let tomorrow fall off your shoulders. Let the calendar unhook. See it slide to the floor. The what-if caravan that has camped on your chest, lift the tent flap and bid it go. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. Take the future in both hands, not its pictures, not its threats, only the sense of carrying and place it into God. Drop the future into I am as into a fathomless sea, and watch it sink without struggle. You do not push it, you release it. Take no thought for the morrow. Yes, take no thought. Again, very softly. God, God, God. The life of me, God the mind of me, God the law of my being. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. And now, be still. Be still, and know that I am God. No speech now, no rehearsal, only the listening attitude. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Attend, like a lily opening without argument. Do nothing, lean on nothing. Simply behold. If a thought knocks, do not rise. Let it pass down the corridor unreceived. Rest in the center where I stands forever. The body may breathe. Let it. The heart may loosen. Permit it. You do not affect this. You consent to it. Presence is here before you're sitting and remains after you're going. Listen for the unsounded assurance, perhaps a warmth, perhaps a widening, perhaps only a great okayness arising of itself. That is grace moving on, its own tracks. Once more, a soft seal upon the silence. God, the only power, only power. I in the midst of me am mighty. And now we close, not by effort, but by beholding. No thought, no push, just presence. He performeth that which is given me to do. Rise as you will, not hurried, not slow carried. Tomorrow is not on your shoulders. It has been given back to God. Felt relief arrives when we release tomorrow and listen within. Keep this prayer as a light thing, a frequent thing, a happy dropping of bundles into the everlasting arms. Now, as you go from that quiet unhooking, something may arrive of its own accord, a small click as of a latch, a weight falling from the ribs, a soft smile unbidden, a hush widening under the breastbone. Do not make any of these your aim. They are not the sun, they are beams. They are not the music, they are echoes. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. The Spirit is not to be scheduled or trapped. Never look for results. Results are grace's business, not yours. Your part is beholding. Your part is the listening attitude. God, the only power. Only power. When peace appears, let it have you. Do not seize it. If you clutch a dove, it flies. Open your hand, and it settles. So with the holy hush, remain a witness. Let the river move of itself beneath the boat. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Not the peace of conclusion, not the peace of a solved equation, but the peace that simply is anterior to reasons. Be still and know, if presently the feeling thins, do not mourn its going or chase it down the hall. Presence does not come and go. Sensation does. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Trust the oath, not the weather of the nerves. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Stay your mind, and let peace keep you in its time. Now, the ego is a bright engineer. It hears the click and sketches a blueprint. How to reproduce, how to extend, how to bottle and sell. Smile at it. Gently say, no. We do not canonize sensations. We do not build altars to effects. Never look for results. We live not by touches, but by the word. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed. If tomorrow's prayer is dry as a plain, sit anyway. If no warmth comes, sit anyway. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. The word may sound as silence. Consent to the silence. Drop the patient and the condition, and even drop the memory of yesterday's sweetness. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. God, God, God. And what then? After the click, do not hurry to use it. Do not announce it to the house as if you had caught a rare fish. Simply rise and let it walk you to the next thing. If an inner word is given, wait. Call now. Go there. Obey the word. Not anxiety. Thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way. Walk ye in it. If no word is given, do the simple next with a light heart as one carried. He performeth that which is given me to do. Keep it humble. Credit grace, not technique. Credit the eye that is nearer than hands and feet. Not the posture, not the timing, not the one who sat. And when you notice the mind reaching again to manage the feeling, smile and turn inward a hair's breadth. Be still and know. Trust the inner shift when it comes and refuse firmly, sweetly, to turn it into a project. God, the only power, I, in the midst of me, is mighty. Beloved, anxiety will knock again. Do not call this failure. Call it a visitor without passport. Name it correctly and you disarm it. This is a suggestion, a claim, an appearance in human thought, not a power. God is too pure to behold iniquity. There are no other powers. When the flutter rises in the belly, when the old siren begins its small rehearsal, do not form ranks and do not argue. Simply see it as a passing picture on the screen while the light remains what it is. God, the only power. Only power. Here is the little protocol, simple as breathing. First, recognition. This is not a decree. It is a suggestion, not law, only a whisper. Second, a brief, sure refrain that returns you to center. God, the only power. Only power. I, in the midst of me, is law unto this moment. Say it once, twice, as one sets a seal, then become a beholder. Drop the patient and the condition. Do not bring yourself in need. Do not bring the picture of tomorrow's cliff. Let them stand outside the door. And now, 2 breaths of silence. Be still and know. In, out, in, out. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. That is enough. If the wave lingers, repeat. We are not wrestling. We are recentering. Many small returns outwork fear's habit. As often as you notice the tug, as often return. God, God, God. I, in the midst of me, is law unto this moment. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. You will find, sometimes in a heartbeat, sometimes after 3 small rounds, that the edge blunts and the power drains from the picture. For it never had power of its own. The branch returns to the vine, and sap flows without your engineering. He performeth that which is given me to do. Do not analyze the content of the fear. Do not compose speeches to it. Treat it as an envelope misaddressed. Return to sender. The sender is I am. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still, those 2 breaths. If an inner word is given, wait. Apologize. Make the call. Obey the word, not the fear. If no word is given, do the next simple thing with a light heart. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And when, an hour later, or tomorrow morning, another tremor arrives, smile. Here is your bell for prayer. Here is your practice partner returning for a lesson. Again, name it suggestion, not power. Refrain God, the only power. Only power. I in the midst of me is law unto this moment. Beholder, drop the patient and the condition. 2 breaths, be still and know. Then rise and go on. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The keeping is not your strain. It is his being. Each surge is another cue to behold, not to battle. In these gentle, frequent turnings, fear's roads grow over with grass, and grace becomes the only traffic of your day. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Trust it and walk on. Beloved, experience is the gentle teacher that confirms what Scripture has been singing all along. When we take no thought, grace takes loving charge. Not as theory, not as pious wish, but as a law of a higher kingdom, moving quietly in the midst of ordinary days. Hear these small parables of providence, not as exceptions to coax envy, but as lamps to show the path where you also walk. He leadeth me beside the still waters. God, the only power. Only power. Some years ago, tickets in hand for a late flight, I left for the airport with a clock's arithmetic arguing haste. At the door, a quiet nudge. Wait. No argument. No reason offered. Only the still, small word. Speak, Lord. Thy servant heareth. So I set the bag down, sat a moment, and beheld. No picture, no plotting, only I. 10 minutes passed in that hush. And then the same inward motion. Go now. I went, and on arrival found the board lit with delays and diversions. The flight I would have taken taxied back with a fault. The gate dissolved into fret. Another route opened at once. A different airline. An easy seat. A peaceful glide. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Do you see? Not superior planning, not a mind outsmarting fate. Presence led, I followed. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Another time, A dear soul came weeping, not from great drama, but from the small daily misery of pain in the mouth and loosened teeth, a condition long rehearsed with dread. We did not enter the chamber with x-rays in our thoughts. We left the bundle at the door. We sat, said God, God, God. Then silence, beholding, not bargaining. The fear, which is the root of much human torment, softened. The grip of tomorrow's picture was let go. Be still and know that I am God. In the morning she woke to find the ache gone and the teeth set as if the earth herself had steadied them. Not magic, beloved, not auto-suggestion principle. Release of fear precedes change. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Appearance yielded to reality as spiritual sight dawned. Once more, the matter of money. A bill due on Friday, no clear way on Wednesday. The mind proposed schemes, the calendar accused. Instead, we entered the closet and shut the door. No ledgers, no what-ifs, only I. One word arrived, wait, another, give thanks. That was all. On Thursday, a forgotten rebate posted. On Friday, a customer's old balance, unasked, came through. He performeth that which is given me to do. We did not strain the world into compliance. We listened, obeyed the small word, and watched manna appear without worms. In each of these, mark the cause, not cleverness, not force, not the tug of war of anxious mind. The presence did the works. We merely beheld. Take no thought for the morrow. Become only a beholder. God, the only power, and then watch how life, relieved of your management, becomes a psalm. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Beloved, truth does not wear a single nation's garment. It is the same river under many skies, different lamps, one light. When the heart hears this, it relaxes its grip on being right and yields to being real. God, the only power, only power. The inner presence is not provincial. It is the I behind all holy names. Before Abraham was, I am. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. Consider Moses, trembling in Midian, a shepherd with yesterday's failures still warm. A bush burned and was not consumed. And out of that unconsumed fire came the revelation that ends self-doubt. I am that I am. Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Identity preceded courage, not the other way round. He did not gather bravado. He received I. And with I came the unhurried authority to face Pharaoh, to stretch a rod over sea and see the path where cause and effect could not compute a path. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. This is grace overruling law. The I in the midst of you am mighty. The presence that sends is the presence that does the works. Now look to a Bodhi tree in another tongue. Siddhartha seated himself as we seat ourselves, still beholden, resolved, not to fetch truth from outside, but to let truth reveal itself inside. Mara came fear in many masks, memory, desire, threat. Arrows flew, the mind's projectiles, and they became flowers as they struck the field of awakened seeing. What was that? Appearance, disarmed by sight, not a duel, but a dawn. He touched the earth as witness, the ground of being, and fear, unmasked as suggestion, dissolved. Do you recognize the law? Take no thought. Be still and know, whether in Hebrew cadence or Pali hush, the same kingdom was at hand, reality as presence, fear as a fluttering veil. A poet in yet another house heard it sing as splendor longing for release. Browning named it the imprisoned splendor. Beloved, that phrase is not ornament, it is instruction. Open out a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape. This is our prayer, method, contemplation, and listening across traditions. The splendor is not imported, it is unveiled. The kingdom of God is within you. God, God, God. Do you see the thread? One revelation, many tongues, one light, many lamps. The law of grace is not confined to any border or book. It is the way being is. Wherever a soul withdraws reliance from thought, steps back from the picture, and rests in I, there the same ease appears, the same authority whispers, the same peace casts out fear. Perfect love casteth out fear. Different vocabulary, same victory. The accountant and the ascetic, the shepherd and the prince, the mother at a kitchen sink, they all meet at the center where I lives itself. Say it softly now. I in the midst of me am mighty. And notice how anxiety, once felt as weather, reveals itself as only a passing cloud, with no sky of its own. The light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Let that light be thy law. Let grace be thy government. Take no thought, and behold how universal. Love keeps thee in every tongue, under every tree, before every sea. Beloved, let us bring the sanctuary into the street. The same eye that burned in the bush and whispered beneath the Bodhi tree is the eye at your keyboard, your table, your ledger. This is not a separate holy hour. This is a holy day. Make many small returns. Before the email, 2 breaths. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Then answer from quiet, not from cleverness. Before the meeting, 2 breaths. God, God, God. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Enter the room as a beholder, and watch how words are given to you in the hour you need them. He performeth that which is given me to do. At the sink, the child spills the milk. The dog barks at a phantom. The doorbell disagrees with a nap. Habit reaches for its old gavel. Sweetly lay it down. 2 breaths. Peace, be still. Answer from stillness, not from reflex. The tone is given you. The patience arrives already baked into the moment. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. You did not manufacture it. You discovered it waiting. The I in the midst of thee am mighty, mighty enough for poster paint on the rug and for tears over algebra. Smile softly and let presence parent in you. In your work, make a small altar of each threshold. Open the laptop. Speak, Lord. 2 breaths. Reach for the phone. Thy servant heareth. 2 breaths. Review the contract. God, the only power. Only power. You will notice an unseen ordering. The email you dreaded softens. The phrase you needed surfaces. The task that felt like stone rolls back as from a tomb and reveals an open path. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Do the next simple thing and let grace line up the unseen. Concerning money, do not wrestle tomorrow. The calendar is not your master. I am is. When worry rises, let it be your bell for practice. 2 breaths. Take no thought for your life. Then, with the lightness of one carried, do what is before you, send the invoice, make the call, mend the budget without the sting of dread. Say within, The eye within me goes before me to make the crooked places straight. Watch how ideas appear instead of panic, how provision arrives by paths you could not have plotted. Give us this day our daily bread, day by day, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. And let it be regular, but never grim. Once a day becomes twice, then thrice until, forgive me, you're hooked. Hooked on peace, hooked on listening, hooked on the sweet habit of yielding. Morning pause before the first word. Noon pause before the next push. Evening pause as the lamps come on. God, God, God. Keep them short, keep them sweet, and never look for results. The results are His. Your part is the return. Your life becomes a psalm sung in small refrains, and you find yourself borne along by a quiet competence not your own. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. Make many small returns, and let life be performed through you. God, the only power. Only power. Beloved, when the path grows simple, the ego grows clever. It cannot create peace, so it tries to wear peace like a medal. After a quiet morning, when the call went sweetly or the figures arranged themselves, have you heard a small trumpet in the ribs? I did it. Well, now, gently, take the polished cloth from its hand. Who maketh thee to differ? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? If thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory, as if thou hadst not received it? Grace did it, we beheld. The Father that dwelleth in me, He doeth the works. He that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. Smile, give the ribbon back to God, and you will find your hands free for the next simple obedience. God, the only power. Another trick, turning peace into a project. The click came yesterday. Now we form a committee to secure it daily at 9. We calibrate chairs, collect playlists, time the breaths like a metronome. Beloved, we are back to law. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you, not by engineering, but by presence realized. When you notice the manager returning, lay down the clipboard and return to the listening attitude. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Never look for results. Look to God. Sit, be still, and know. Let peace find you doing nothing in particular but consenting. Then there is tomorrow's theater, the catastrophe rehearsals. The mind sells tickets for a performance called What If, starring you in 1,000 failures with matinees every hour. When the usher tugs at your sleeve, smile and say, no audience today. The house is closed for prayer. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Take no thought for the morrow. Let the curtain fall. The stagehands can rest. 2 breaths. God, God, God. Then go wash a dish or send an honest email, whatever grace gives you next, and watch how the unplayed tragedy dissolves like fog in sunlight. Sometimes the ego tries piety. It whispers that you must help God a little, with anxious frowns to prove you care. Oh, you've got a fine practitioner, presence in the midst. Let him keep the case. Drop the patient and the condition. And yes, drop the practitioner you think you are. It is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. We are witnesses, not wizards. If a mistake is made, apologize if led. Amend the line and return to center with a light heart. The joy of the Lord is your strength, not the scold of the Lord. Keep it light. Keep it humble. Keep it listening. Spiritual pride bows to not I, but Christ liveth in me. Result chasing vows to be still. Catastrophe rehearsals bow to fear thou not, for I am with thee. And through it all, let a little humor air the room. If you catch yourself mid-drama with a mop in one hand and a prophecy of doom in the other, laugh softly and say, well, Father, I tried to run the universe on my lunch break. I'll hand it back now. Then do, in quietness and confidence, the next simple thing. God, the only power. I in the midst of me am mighty, and the ego, seeing it cannot be director, drifts off like a bored critic, leaving the stage to the true performer, who never misses his cue. He performeth that which is given me to do. Beloved, let us seal this with a simple litany, not as magic, but as remembrance. Softly now, as prayer more than speech, say it with me. I in the midst of me am mighty. Again, I in the midst of me am mighty. Once more, I in the midst of me am mighty. Now the law of our days, God the only power, God the only power, and the yoke that breaks the back of worry. Take no thought. This is your commission. Begin tonight, not tomorrow with its grand resolves, tonight with its small obedience. At the door of prayer, leave your bundle outside. No names, no ledgers, no rehearsals. Sit 2 minutes and listen. 2 minutes. Beloved, say within, God, God, God. Then be still and know that I am God. Do not pull at the fruit. Abide in the vine. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Let grace be law to you. Let the I within you govern the traffic of your day, canceling the tyranny of cause and effect with the ease of presence realized. He performeth that which is given me to do. And here is the promise that steadies the hand and warms the heart. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Not at dawn, not at midnight, not in the boardroom, not at the sink. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned. Fear not. The eye that formed thee from the womb goes before thee to make the crooked places straight, closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. God, the only power. So, when the mind lifts its theater curtain and invites you to the matinee of what if, smile and close the playbill. Take no thought. Return at once to the one word. 2 breaths. God, God, God. Become only a beholder. If an inner word is given, obey. If none is given, do the next simple thing with a light heart, as one carried. Never look for results. Look to God. The results are His. The resting is yours. Now we set the seal, not with many sentences, but with silence. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still. Rise gently from this knowing and walk on in quietness and confidence. And as you go, let this refrain keep your step sure and your brow unburdened. I in the midst of me am mighty. God, the only power. Take no thought and be free.